Hey guys, Laura Hooker here with Fayette County Title Company. I decided a few weeks ago to start some little mini series to really talk about our business, maybe explain some of the ins and outs of real estate and title work for those who may be interested. I know it seems or can seem like a foreign concept. What you don't know, you don't know. So maybe I can help explain some of those things to you who are interested. One of the things that I really wanted to start on, and I have a whole bunch of ideas for later, but one of the things I wanted to start on is title searches. So when I first started, it was such a foreign concept why you would need a title search. I've been in this business now. It's a family business, but I've been in it now doing it for over 10 years, probably close to 15 now. And people still come up and ask me, why would I need a title search? What is the deal? What's the point? What can it show me? Why is it so important? So the basic reason that you and or a lender or someone purchasing a property would want a title search is to see if the person who's selling the property actually owns it fully and completely, and to see if there are any title liens or defects, encumbrances, anything that might adversely affect the property, or if you were borrowing against it, would make a lender not want to lend you money to build on this property or purchase this property. A good example, because typically if you are being lended money, that lender is going to go out and secure a title search and either a title opinion or a commitment from a title company or attorney's office. But let's just take the lender out of this. Let's say that you have found your property that's the property of your dreams, okay? 10 acres, plenty of fields for pastures to fence off to put your horses that you've always dreamed of owning. You have a hill that you want to build this perfect homestead house site on. You even met with an architect and a builder. You have your plans. You have everything laid out, and you found this perfect property. Okay. This seller is selling it for pennies on the dollar. It is such a good deal. You can't believe that you found this property. And you do have the cash to go ahead and purchase it. So you make an offer to the seller accepts, you go to an attorney's office, the seller requests that a deed be drawn up, the attorney just takes the legal description that's given, and they prepare a deed without benefit of title search or title opinion. It happens all the time. They give you a deed. You hand them a cashier's check. The property is yours. You can't believe it. It's amazing. Textbook, going great. You then go to your lender and you say, I want to start the process of a construction loan. I want to build my house. I want to build a huge barn dominium with all the bells and whistles. And you begin the process. A few weeks down the line, the lender contacts you and says, hey, we found some issues that are going to have to be resolved before we feel comfortable lending you money. The title company and or attorney's office that we have enlisted to do this title search, here are some of the things they found that we have to get resolved. Number one, your property has no public road frontage. Well, what does that mean? Well, how is that going to affect me? So one of the things that we look for, and one of the most important things we look for in the very beginning, before we even do too much digging, is, does this property have public road frontage? Because if it does not front a public road that is managed by the county, city, whatever, if it doesn't, or if it does not have an easement of record, of public record that grants access to that public road, you cannot build because you can't pull a building permit. you cannot borrow against it because no lender is going to lend you money on a landlocked piece of property. So, okay, so you find out this property is not only landlocked with no public road frontage, but it also had a right of first refusal on it. This was part of a bigger family farm, and this gentleman sold you his 10 acres that he got from mom when she died. And unfortunately, in the deed prior, there is a right of first refusal where brother and sister get the opportunity to make an offer for fair market value for this 10 acres so that it stays in the family. That's what mom wanted. She wanted to give each of her kids 10 acres, but she really just wanted it to stay in the family. Well, brother and sister are mad at other brother who sold you this property, and they're not willing to sign a right of first refusal. Also, another thing that was found in this title search is gentleman that sold it to you had a $60,000 tax lien, state tax lien. Now, liens and judgments, sometimes if it's over or past the statute date of like 10 years, we can submit it to an underwriter and they can say, yes, we feel comfortable insuring over this or providing that coverage, because by statute in the state of Tennessee, if you don't re-record a lien or a judgment within a 10-year period from the first time it's filed, it's barred by statute. So this particular lien that the gentleman that sold you the property on, he just got it 2 years ago. It's going to have to run 8 more years. And even then, if the state decides to refile it, it's going to run for another 10 years. So not only did you buy this property that has no road frontage, brother and sister aren't willing to give up their right of first refusal, and it's likely going to go through a very large court case where they're going to be duking it out to regain at least monetary value, unless the court decides to even pull the property back in. It's no telling what could happen. But also, now you have a piece of property that's $60,000 in debt. Well, how does that happen? That doesn't make sense. It's on the individual. It shouldn't follow the property. Well, when liens are filed of public record, whether it's at the court level, like in circuit clerk's office, or if it is filed in the Register of Deeds office or chancery clerk, depending on what state you're in, they file that because they're placing a lien against the person and any tangible assets that they have. One of the largest and most tangible assets someone can have is property. So even if it's filed against the person, public record, it attaches to the land, it follows the land. So that has to be paid off in full or satisfied before a lender will lend you money. Because if they're going to give you a deed of trust that secures, let's say, a $300,000 construction loan, they want their lien to come first. Well, because it wasn't recorded before the state tax lien, it's not going to come first. The $60,000 tax lien is going to come in first position. So you can see how you can get in really deep trouble really quickly if you decide to go and purchase something without the benefit of a title search or title opinion. It's really important to know what it is that you're buying. Is there an encumbrance, such as a fence line or property line dispute? Maybe a prior owner built a fence that the neighbor is arguing is on their property line. Well, really the only way you figure that out is if a survey is done. If they sell it to you and the dispute's still ongoing, you could potentially be liable for either having to take down the fence, incur court costs, incur at least the cost of a survey to defend yourself if they're stating that it's on their property. There's tons of things to be aware of, but public road access is a huge one. delinquent taxes is another thing that we see tons of times, and you'll see these YouTube videos or advertisements that have come up as of late that say, get involved, make your LLC and buy property for cheap at tax sales that you can then turn around and sell and make a lot of money. Well, the way they're making a lot of money is they're going and buying these properties out of a tax sale, turn around and selling them for cash for a few $1,000s more than what they paid for it. Then if we were to go and do a title search, we would see that it was purchased on a tax deed. And unless 10 years runs, just like a lien, it's considered a cloud on the title. You can't borrow against a property that's been purchased within the last 10 years on a tax deed. So again, just lots of things that I can't put all in one video right now, but I want to give you a taste of some of the things that we look for, some of the things that lenders are going to look for, some of the things that you should be aware of, and be certain that if you're purchasing a property, especially for cash, that you're protected, and it's worth the a few $100 up front to obtain a title search. Make sure that you're getting what you're paying for and not incurring tons of debt or just what I would like to call a money pit, that you're gonna have to do a bunch of curative work to get squared away before you can borrow against. So I hope that helps. I'm looking forward to doing more short series like this, and I'm also planning to sit down with Ray, who is my dad, but also the creator of Fayette County Title, if you will, and have a discussion openly, more of like a stream of consciousness with him about how the company got started, the early years, and how it's progressed and changed, because it has definitely changed from 1990 in our inception, the creation. So if you have any ideas or thoughts about some videos you'd like to see in the future, questions that you have about title companies or the real estate market that I might be able to assist in answering, I'm happy to do that. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I look forward to the next video.